Welcome to Scrum Masters Elite _UK. Subscribe to the channel to follow in-depth sports analysis and the inspiring journey of talents like Tangitau. Don't miss out.
Tangitau has had an impressive start to the season. His try in the Highlanders' 25-23 victory over the defending champions in Christchurch wasn't just about the points. It was his first statement that he was ready to step into the spotlight. Then, when he continued to score in the narrow 26-23 loss to the Chiefs in Dunedin, I could clearly sense that this was no longer just luck or a fleeting moment, it was the consistency of a growing talent showing up with every game. Personally, I was particularly impressed by Tangitau's 40-meter sprint in the final minutes of the Chiefs match. When his team was trying to turn the game around, with only minutes left on the clock, he didn't choose safety. He chose to explode. That moment, in my opinion, showcased a quality that not every young player has, the willingness to take responsibility under the most intense pressure. At just 22 years old, Tangitau is already making a name for himself. At that age, many players are still finding their place in the squad, or even in their careers.
But he's already scored 8 tries in 9 appearances for the Highlanders, a number that commands the attention of any fan. I believe behind those numbers lies countless hours of silent training, the effort to adapt to Coach Jamie Joseph's tactical system, and the determination to prove himself after leaving the Blues. At the Blues, Tangitau had to compete with big names like Caleb Clark and Mark Tellier, wingers who have firmly established themselves in the All Blacks lineup. I don't see that as a failure. On the contrary, I think it was a necessary challenge. In elite sports, talent alone is not enough. Timing, tactical fit, and trust from the coaching staff are also essential. Tangitau's move to the Highlanders can be seen as a turning point. In this new environment, he's been given more opportunities and placed in a more pivotal role. And he hasn't wasted it. I believe the biggest difference lies in mindset. When a player feels trusted by their team, they play with much more freedom and decisiveness. Former All Blacks player Stephen Donald's commentary made me think a lot.
He suggested that whoever succeeds Scott Robertson as the All Blacks head coach, whether it's Dave Rennie or Jamie Joseph, Tangitau is being closely watched. When you perform well enough, you position yourself in line for big opportunities, even with names like Dave Rennie and Jamie Joseph being mentioned for the national team head coach role. The most important factor still remains performance on the field. Opportunities in the national team don't come from compliments, they come from relentless running. Fierce contests, and timely tries. Tangitau stands at 1.88 meters and weighs 98 kilograms, with an ideal physical profile for a modern winger. When Stephen Donald compares him to Will Jordan, I don't see this as an exaggeration. Players with strong hips and legs have a huge advantage in collisions. When they hit top speed, opponents can't just use their hands to stop them, they need to use their whole body. And just a moment's hesitation, and they'll be left behind.
But what makes me reflect isn't just his physique. Physicality can be a gift, but how you use it is the result of training. Tangitau has learned to turn his physical advantages into a tactical weapon. He doesn't just run fast, he runs with purpose. He doesn't just make contact, he makes contact to open up space for his teammates. I also agree with the assessment that Forsyth Bar Stadium in Dunedin is the perfect environment for his style of play. The stadium is known for its high-quality pitch and stable playing conditions. In that environment, players with speed and the ability to break through can truly shine. But I believe that no matter how favorable the conditions, if there's no inner strength or desire, no difference can be made. I've learned many lessons from this. First, opportunities don't always come where you start, but where you dare to change. If he had accepted a permanent bench position at the Blues, we might not be talking about him as an emerging phenomenon today. The courage to leave his comfort zone opened up a new door.
Second, silent preparation determines your ability to seize opportunities. When that crucial moment came in the final minutes of the game, he was ready to explode. No one can perform well under pressure without thorough preparation beforehand. Third, lasting success doesn't come from a single moment of brilliance, but from consistent performance over multiple games. 8 tries in 9 games isn't the result of luck. It's a series of focused, disciplined performances. Don't rush to idolize someone based on a few good games. But also don't doubt them just because they lack experience. Give them time. Maturity is a process. For the broader sports community, Tangitau's journey highlights the value of the training system. From U20 levels to the Sevens rugby team, to Super Rugby, each step has contributed to building a solid foundation. No success is separated from a long accumulation process. Every person has potential, But potential only becomes valuable when placed in the right environment and nurtured with discipline, trust, and relentless effort.
I don't want to paint Tangitau as a surefire future star. Sports are always unpredictable. Form can change, injuries can happen, and pressure can increase. But that's exactly why what he's doing right now is even more admirable. He's making the most of the present. If one day he's called up to the All Blacks, it will be a well-deserved result of this journey. And even if not, I believe what he has already shown is proof of the value of hard work. I remind myself that life is like a rugby match. There are moments when you're ahead, moments when you're being chased, and moments when it feels like there's no time left. But as long as there are a few minutes left, as long as there's one more opportunity, you can still make a difference, just like that 40-meter sprint. And perhaps the most beautiful thing isn't in the score, but in the spirit of not giving up. That's a lesson I believe is not just for Tangitau, not just for Highlanders fans, but for all of us, those of us looking for an opportunity to break through in our own game of life.
Goodbye, never give up on an opportunity. Like Tangitau, seize the moment when the chance comes.